This story was documented by an anthropologist somewhere down in, I would say, Quebec or eastern Canada, and probably taken from the Cree, James Bay Cree area. So, this would have been recorded some time back in the 1800s. Itahtoi saa ehkä piegoisko piegopt. Kuinkin yhtä muitmata. Papiahtakka maamta niihtak. Piahtak katasiga kumkiwai katuskatak. There was a woman who was living with her son. Her son, and elders often told parents, to tell them to be weary of certain places, not to take their children. And one of the directions that was where she was living was to be weary about, and leery was the west, Baksimotak. Tito awas so nappies. So this little boy couldn't go over there. So she told him all that, She told him not to go over there. He was getting a little older and getting around fairly easy. Maga, kahit ko inuman askoman kino pingan. What when you're told, sometimes you're curious. So this little boy was curious. So off he went, to the west. He go most bigio, and he never came home. And the mother was beside herself, and she was beside her teepee could make the mama and she started crying. And the raven came by and saw this poor lady crying. Asked her, why are you crying? Oh, my boy is lost. So don't worry, don't cry. Go eat and I'll help you. So he told her to clean herself up and to make a dress. So she would have to make a dress. And from there, the raven would help this young lady, this poor lady, to find her son. So she started working on this dress. And she finally finished, and a raven came back and, he said, open that manta aposi. Lift up that first pole, the door pole of the teepee. So open them. So she lifted it up in the hole where the teepee pole was sitting. She could see another land. You can go down there and look for your son. She was kind of concerned because it was just a little hole. Have faith, the raven said. And so she had faith. So she dove down in there, and then magically she went through that that little hole. And from there she looked and followed a path, led somewhere, and by she came to a village. She heard children. So she went over there to check. Sure enough, she saw her boy. But now she had to think about how to veer him away from the rest of the kids. So she waited. Peace stone got you. Finally, there was an opportunity. And she whisked her son away from that village. So they ran off. They came running. They had to go fast before the other kids would find out their newly found friend was gone. So she found where that hole was, and so she came through there, and she came in back where her teepee was. So quickly as she could, she took the teepee pole and pushed it back in, closed the doorway to the underworld. Oh. The raven was waiting there. Since you found your son, Iguan mamtas kutskini hio pikskuna, pikskuigum, iguan onitano tinigan, says that's your language. That little boy was trying to teach you something. That's your language. In the future, you are going to lose your language for a while, for a time. But the dress that you made, but that's dress represents the new education that will be coming to your country, to this territory. That's what you'll relearn what you lost for a while. Your language, the Cree language. You will relearn that through, let's just say, the white man's teachings, white man's way of learning. Ekuse, kakago, so gumina ka utini gant kakio gate katnihiana kakio gyo doche. So in the future you will also revive the language so that it'll spread back towards all the people. It'll spread towards your country. Everybody will relearn the language when they have lost it for some time. And this anthropologist who had written that had explained it, that it was an allegory, that it was about the past, the present, and the future. Thank you. And nothing more to be said. Just share this story. So for you, Laurie, to pass it on to whoever you feel.